The tournament formally starts when the Targaryens gather at Ashford Meadow in A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms Season 1, Episode 2. Dunk, a squire whose master knight, Ser Arlen, had died, was introduced in the previous episode of this Game of Thrones spin-off. With no obvious path forward, Dunk travels to the Ashford Meadow tournament in the hopes of earning a knighthood there. While traveling, Dunk encounters a small child named Egg, whom he eventually hires as a squire. When Dunk gets to Ashford Meadow, his main problem is that he can't prove he was knighted. In the opening scene of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms Episode 2, Dunk repeatedly recounts the tale of Ser Arlen in the hopes that a prominent competitor will recall his teacher and attest to Dunk's knighthood. But Dunk's ambition appears to be lost when the royal Targaryens arrive at Ashford to officially begin the tournament. The Targaryens have formally entered the competition. Aerion Targaryen, played by Finn Bennett in A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Westeros is ruled by Daeron II Targaryen during the events of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. In Episode 2, two of his sons, Prince Baelor and Prince Mikar, visit Ashford instead of the ruler himself. Mikar, Baelor's younger brother, is a few steps behind him in the line of succession. Baelor is the heir apparent and the current hand of the king. Dunk has a disagreeable encounter with Mikar's son, Prince Aerion, as he observes these Targaryen princes being greeted by Lord Ashford. Aerion is obviously a really horrible piece of work. In essence, he is a snobbish royal who enjoys nothing more than mistreating his inferiors, much like Prince Joffrey from A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Dunk learns there are two missing Targaryen princes. In A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, Sam Spruill plays Prince Mikar Targaryen as he passes a House Ashford flag. Aerion was the only one of Prince Mikar's four sons to travel with the Targaryen procession to the tourney. Dunk finds a servant's tunnel leading to Lord Ashford's residence in Episode 2 of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. After entering, he finds himself getting closer to the hall where the royal brothers have started to take up residence. At this point, Dunk learns that Mikar has lost two of his kids. During the events of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms Episode 2, Prince Daeron and Prince Aegon have been absent for a day. Dunk overhears Baelor saying that Mikar should never have given Daeron the order to compete in the tournament, which suggests that the young prince had been hesitant to sign up. Although Lord Ashford's peculiar daughter informs Dunk that the princes are most likely dead, the Targaryen heir adds that he is certain Daeron and Aegon will show up. Dunk's knighthood is confirmed by Prince Baelor Targaryen. In A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, Prince Baelor. Given Dunk's size and awkwardness, it should come as no surprise that the Targaryen princes discovered his hiding spot in Episode 2 of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Dunk boldly fires his gun once Mikar gives him the order to reveal himself. He tells the future king that he won't be allowed to compete until someone can attest to him, but that none of the knights there seem to recall Ser Arlen. Dunk's last hope is that Prince Baelor will be different. Baelor miraculously recalls Dunk's master. Although Ser Arlen of Pennytree had never won a tournament, he remembers that he never shamed himself either. Naturally, the fact that Ser Arlen was a legitimate knight did not establish that Dunk had been his squire. Baelor then puts him to the test. He claims that Ser Arlen had unhorsed the Grey Lion in a previous tournament and asks Dunk what this opponent's real name was, something Dunk ought to know if he had heard the tale as frequently as he claimed. After some time, Dunk is able to respond that Ser Daemon Lannister, the current Lord of Casterly Rock, is the Grey Lion. Baelor appears genuinely happy that Dunk is right. He attests to the Hedge Knight's abilities and verifies Dunk's competitiveness with the Master of the Games. Ser Duncan the Tall was unquestionably a legitimate knight of the Seven Kingdoms with the approval of the future king of Westeros. An explanation of Dunk's new sigil and armor. In A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, Tanzel is overly tall. As Dunk departed from the Targaryen princes, Baelor pointed out that since only a member of Arlen's line could joust with his symbol, this newly acknowledged knight would need to have his shield repainted. This leads Dunk to Tassel Too Tall, the Dornish girl he had seen in the puppet play earlier. Dunk requests that Tanzel repaint his shield with a new symbol after she informs him that she is in charge of painting the puppets. Dunk develops the new design with Egg's assistance. Dunk wants an elm tree similar to the one he and Egg camped under, to stand in the middle of his emblem against a sunset-colored background. A shooting star will be placed above it, symbolizing the lucky signs they saw on their first night in Ashford. After Dunk embarrasses himself with some uncomfortable flirting, Tanzel consents to undertake the work. Dunk gives Tanzel his shield and then goes to talk to Steely Pate, an armorer renowned for his superb work and straightforward craftsmanship. In A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms Episode 2, it is immediately apparent that Dunk is unable to pay for Steely Pate's labor. But the armorer looks sympathetic to Dunk and takes half of Ser Arlen's old armor in exchange. Dunk sells his cherished horse, Sweetfoot, to make up the difference, intending to repurchase her once he wins. An explanation of Dunk's revelation regarding Ser Arlen in Episode 2. In A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Dunk and Egg are seated together. For Dunk, Episode 2 of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is quite the adventure. He sort of turns into a real knight in this episode. He had no sigil, no appropriate armor, and no evidence of his knighthood before coming to Ashford. Given the backstory in Episode 1, it's highly likely that Ser Arlen never knighted Dunk in the first place. But in the second episode, Ser Duncan the Tall wins Prince Baelor's favor and obtains his own weapons and emblem. Dunk reflects on Ser Arlen's past as he completes all these requirements to become a real knight. Scenes from Arlen and Dunk's past introduced the second episode of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Dunk admits at the conclusion of the episode that Ser Arlen had no personal ties other than his squire and was never a champion. Maybe he wasn't such a wonderful knight after all. Dunk has a fatherly devotion for his master. But after witnessing the tournament's opening events, Ser Duncan came to the conclusion that he did not wish to emulate Arlen. Dunk is determined to surpass Ser Arlen and become a genuinely great knight as A Night of the Seven Kingdoms develops. Naturally, the outcome of the Ashford tournament will determine whether or not his dream comes true.